Hello, everybody. This is the lesson video for finding the percent of a number. So we're going to go over two things today. First, we are going to be looking at finding the part, which is what we practiced yesterday when we were estimating to find a percent. And then we are going to find the percent of a number. So let's go ahead and get started. This first one is kind of what we practiced yesterday. So we found compatible numbers between these two, drew a tape diagram, that kind of thing. Today, we're really just going to be working with the numbers. So for our first step, we do not want that color, let's do blue. First thing we're gonna do is take that percent and make it into a decimal. So I know that 5% would have its decimal here. Percent means per 100, so I'm dividing by 100, so I'll be moving two place values, that's 100, and we would get 0.05. Okay. Then we are just going to multiply it by this other value here. So we'll multiply by 210. Okay, so 5 times 0 is 0, 5, and 10. We really don't need to continue on because our next place values here are zeros. Let's scoot 1, 2 to find our decimal place. 1, 2. And our answer becomes 10.5. Woo! So super doable. Let's try another one. The next one, again, we are going to start by looking at the percent. Okay, and this one, while it does have a decimal inside of the percent, it's not in decimal form. It's a percent. It just happens to have a decimal. So what we're going to do, just like we did in the last problem, is we are going to say 8.2%. Percent means per 100, so we're dividing by 100. And we would go ahead and move our decimal place over 2 spots. So just like before, we have 0.082 times the other number. Okay, we actually don't need this guy here. And then we can go ahead and just multiply. Okay, so we have 0, 0, 10, 0, 0, and 40. Add those bad boys together. And then we need to look at our decimal place. I can see I have 1, 2, 3. So I need to start out here 1, 2, 3. So my answer becomes 41. So doable. So this one we're just finding the decimal and multiplying it by the other value. Now we're going to switch gears and find the percent. So this one, instead of using multiplication and decimals, we're using division as our operation. So I'm going to write this as an equation to kind of set it up for you, to get you thinking why we're dividing. We don't know what 75% is yet, or what percent of 7533 is. So we're going to write it like this. And this should bring to mind when we did algebraic equations. When we have a coefficient like this, we want to get its variable by itself, right? So I'm going to isolate the variable. So find the variable. What's happening next to it? I can see the operation that is happening is multiplication. So I'll do the opposite, which is divide. And then P is by itself, so it'll give us our percent. So we're going to divide 33 by 75. Okay, 75 can't go into 33, it's too small of a number, so we are going to add a decimal and annex a 0. Okay, so now we'll move over a place value, so instead of looking at 33, we're looking at 330. So now that I've popped the decimal up into the quotient, I sometimes will take away that decimal so that it doesn't get in my way of determining what number I'm looking at. So 75 goes into 330 4 times. The way that I thought about that is 7 tens goes into 33 tens 4 times, right? So 7 tens and 30 tens, I would get 28. So I estimated there. Now I have to find the exact value. So 75 times 4, we have 20. 4 times 7 is 28 plus 2, 30. So we'll go ahead and put that in there. Find our difference, annex our 0, and divide on our last place value. So 75, I know, already goes into 300 4 times evenly. Okay, so our answer now is in a decimal, right? But it asked us, what is the percent? So I know to get percent, I need to multiply by 100 or shift my place value 2 places. So it becomes 44%. All right, this next one we'll do together. Same type of thing. I'm not going to write it as an equation this time, but we can see that we are going to divide 126 by 315. So we'll do 126 divided by 315. Okay, I can see 300 can't go into 100, so I'm going to put a decimal place here and add a 0. Okay, and now we're going to look at 1260. So the way that I like to think about it is I estimate, right? Or I use some strategies for long division. This is 300s, right? It's closer to 300s. And this is 1200s, almost 1300, right? So 3 can go into 12 how many times? 4. So I'm going to see if that one works. That way I don't have to do 8 million multiplication problems. I estimated, so I should have a pretty reasonable answer. So let's do this one real quick. And what do you know? It is spot on. So we're going to go ahead and put that there. And our answer is in a decimal form, but we need to write it as a percent. So we'll shift 2 place values, which is times 100, to get 40%. And that's all there is to it, my friends. So we do have an assignment today. It is a paper folded into 6 squares. You have 6 problems that look like this. And then you have 6 practice problems that look like this. Okie dokie artichokes, have fun, and happy math.